Okay guys, this video is because I'm making this video because I finally, after 15 years or so of using this instrument, it's finally kind of finished. And there's a reason why it's finished, which I'll explain in a minute. Now, this is the original. This is actually from a great magazine called the Fretboard Journal. And if we just check this out, this is Cooder's original. Let me just focus on there. This is Cooder's original Coodercaster. So really, what we can see here is this body is a 3-tone sunburst body that he bought, and then he bought the neck separately. And what's interesting about the neck is it's got this large headstock, which would make it more like a late 60s, mid to late 60s model. But also it's got this, obviously I think it's I don't know how many pieces of wood this is, but it looks to be 3-piece. But just judging by the wood grain there, you know, the question would be, would this be ash or would it be alder? Now to me, it looks a little bit like ash, but you might want to tell me otherwise. If we just look at that, we can see, I don't know if it's coming through on the camera, but we can see some grain here. I mean, that could well be ash to me, but you might say no, that's not, because normally the 50s bodies came with just a 2-tone sunburst, and the red came in later with the older bodies. So anyway, I digress. So really the heart and soul of the Cooders, and this one is the original pickup. So this is an original Valco from the 50s, and this is an original 60s Tiesco with the original, obviously, rubber magnets. It's a very unique sort of sound. That's not to say that the replicas aren't also as good. It's just that I think I prefer the originals, me personally. So I would advise to look out for the originals. The problem with the originals is you're going to have to cut out this piece of the plate in order for it to fit in. You know, so, but it's a bit of work, but I think it's definitely warranted because the sound of this is absolutely fantastic. Obviously my knobs here are a little bit different. I thought these kind of look cool, so these are on it at the moment. Now, Cooder tends to use either this pickup or that pickup. Doesn't really use the in-between sounds. However, Pete Corp, who kind of originally put this together, incredibly worked it out so that these two coils remain in phase when the middle position is selected. Otherwise you need a 15 connector switch. It's got 15 little connectors to solder wires onto, in order to put it here in the middle and have these two together, but have these coils in phase with each other, because these are two separate coils on this Valco. But anyway, so this actually does work really beautifully in the middle, as you're going to hear in a minute. So that's the neck, and that's the bridge, obviously. The other thing, this is a standard Fender bridge plate, probably a Goto bridge plate actually, but it's got Callahan saddles here. If we turn it over, we can see that it's got 5 springs, a Goto block, and I really need to tighten this up actually, because the strings are slack and they're not resonating, because Cooder says it's nice, you get a bit of reverberation from these springs, but obviously you need to get these under pressure, under some tightness, in order for them to kind of ring out. So that's something I'll probably do today. But this I was kind of fooling around with this instrument. I was never really happy with it, and I made my other Coodercaster guitar, which is a Telecaster version. I call it the Coodercaster, and the Coodercaster kind of came into being because I was just never quite happy with this guitar. I love the look of it and the sound, but the neck just I didn't gel with the neck. So this guitar probably had in the region of 10 different guitar necks through the years on it, and until I got this one here a couple of months ago, and I've just been playing this for a couple of months now, and I'm just so happy with this neck. It's absolutely incredible. So this neck is actually a Navigator neck, and it was probably made 20 odd years ago, and it's a veneer. Okay, very important, it's a veneer neck. You can tell a veneer because if you have a look at this part, you'll see a slight curve, okay, and obviously no skunks right on the back. And I just prefer the sound of veneers. I don't know why. The veneer neck for me, Stevie Ray Vaughan's guitar neck was a veneer neck, and I just prefer that. But the main reason I like this, it's got a nice kind of chunky thickness to this, and I know that Rykuda has said his one has this kind of really cool sort of chunky neck, but also a nut width which is quite wide. Well, this nut width here is 42, or maybe even a slightly bit over, but it's around a 42. But it actually gets bigger here, so it goes quite nice and wide, you know, quite quick. And you can still get your thumb over, but that width just really makes it easier when you're fretting notes. And it's so beautifully made, and these are vintage frets. And you can see here that Ryan has vintage frets on his. Can you see? These aren't like jumbo frets, you know. Let me just focus into that. So you can see that Ryan's guitar doesn't have, these are quite slim. So when you're sliding, to be honest, yeah, you're using 12s, but you're not doing Albert King style bends, so you don't really need the big frets. You can get away with a really well made vintage frets, good fret job, you know. So that's what we have here. This guitar has 12s on it at the moment. Sometimes I feel it could have 13s. So I'm always thinking about putting this actually in C sharp and putting 13s on it. That's actually something I will try out soon. But at the moment it's in D with 12s. They're very easy strings. But the problem comes when you put a capo, then it can be a little bit difficult to fret. So that's just toying with the action. And as you can see, there's a bit of an action, but it's not too much. But it could probably raise it. I could raise the action up a little bit more, I think, especially on the treble side. But yeah, just this is kind of like now finished, thanks to the neck. So if I can impart any wisdom, it would be, you know, just really don't be afraid to try a few different necks, you know, until you get the one that really speaks to you and just makes you want to play it. Because ultimately, this guitar has got to speak to you. It's got to say, play me, and this guitar does that now. You know, it's calling for me to play it. So let's plug this thing in. If I just move the camera back a little bit, guys. So here is the Coodercaster in action. We're going to start with the Valco pickup in the bridge. Okay, so let's just go to the middle position. Okay, and then let's just go to this neck pickup. Just sort of bear in mind whereabouts it is, because again, if you look at here on Rykuda's, it's not right up to the pickup there. Sorry, the pickup's not right up to the neck, as is with this one. So really important just to bring it back a bit, get a tighter sound. Okay, so that's basically it. That's the Coodercaster. Hopefully this video has been of use to you. I'm really happy now with this beautiful neck by ESP's made this neck. Just literally the best, probably the best Stratocaster style neck I've ever sort of, and this includes the original Fenders from the 60s. It's just absolutely incredible. So you know, well done ESP. And finally, this guitar is complete. That's it. Okay. So there you go. Good luck with your own sort of Coodercaster builds, guys. If you've got any questions, hit me up on the comments. and maybe I'll do another video on the actual action and strings. That's sort of a video I haven't really sort of delved into, so maybe that will be the next video. But until then, God bless, take care.